Hello, hello. Hey, Sylvie, did you on purpose make my little name card the same color as my earrings? You see, Meg Pearson is turquoise, just like my earrings. Just filling some time here while I wait for some people to hop on here. My name is Meg. I'm coming to you live from Rythmia in sunny Guanacaste, Costa Rica. And if you were tuning into Rythmia's Facebook Live yesterday, you know that I was here. I was super happy to be doing the I Got My Miracle Facebook Live here on Rythmia's Facebook page yesterday. And here I am today doing my weekly Sunday afternoon cooking show, cooking class, integrative nutrition, food philosophy talk. So I can see some people hopping on here. Let me know where you're watching from when you join. I'm always curious to know. We get people from all over the world, not only watching these Facebook Lives, but here at Rythmia. And this Rythmia is no exception. This week at Rythmia is no exception. We've just seen a beautiful, beautiful group of people evolve, expand, and merge with their souls. And they are headed off into the world after being here last week. And we have about 50 new people that are checking in this weekend to go through this process with us. My name is Meg, as I mentioned, and I was the chef originally when I got hired on here in 2016 at Rythmia, and I created all the menus and the recipes here for our buffets. We serve farm to table, organic, mostly food that is paired to work with plant medicine. We offer plant medicine here at Rythmia, as well as colon cleanses, massage therapy, yoga, breath work, metaphysical workshops and teachings, and a whole lot more. So, hello, people. Hey, Leslie, so good to see you. Leslie's watching from Connecticut. My mother is watching from Canada. Hi, Mom. Terry Pearson. Claudia. Hey, Claudia. Robin is watching from Daytona Beach, Florida. Maria is also watching from Florida. I see more people hopping on. Let me know where you're tuning in from. So today, I'm going to get right into this. We are talking about Love Your Cooking Show. Thank you, Robin. I know I'll call it my cooking show. Today, we're talking about cacao. Wow. These names, right? I've been doing these videos since October of 2017. And I think I've talked about cacao a lot. I think I talked about it only a couple of months ago where I showed you my favorite cacao drink that I sometimes enjoy in the mornings. Today, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the actual cacao fruit. Hey, Steph. Steph's watching from Vegas. Melv is watching from Tucson, Arizona. That's how you say Tucson, right? I always say Tucson, but it's Tucson, right? That's Tucson. I'm not American. I'm Canadian, eh? So I actually got my hands on this amazing cacao fruit at my organic grocer, and I wanted to show you guys where chocolate comes from, right? So many of us associate chocolate with the bars that we buy at the grocery store or the health food store or the farmer's market, but we forget that the actual chocolate, the chocolate actually comes from a fruit, and that it is, this is essentially cacao in its most unprocessed form, or this is at least the outer core of where cacao comes from. So this is the fruit. Now, this is a really cool thing. I've been to a cacao farm here in Costa Rica years ago, and the cool thing about cacao fruits is they actually grow on the trunk of the tree. Instead of like regularly like apples that grow up in the branches, cacao fruit grows from the trunk of the tree. So it's a really cool sight to behold. But I bought this at the grocery store. Hey, Alberta, watching from Southern Cali. Stephanie says she's been dreaming of my brownies all week. And Malva's saying that, yes, I did pronounce Tucson correctly. Hey, Donna. Donna's watching from Los Angeles as well. I guess I can take my glasses off. So I'm going to take those off. So I'm going to cut into this here today and show you guys what's going on inside this here fruit. Now, I've had this one sitting on my counter all week, so I'm hoping it's not going to be rotten inside, because if it is, then we don't have a video. I've got nothing to show you other than a whole bunch of rotten fruit. So everyone cross your fingers. So there's multiple ways you can cut into this fruit. You can go the long way. I'm going to go down the midline here. And this is kind of like a squash. Think about like an acorn squash or no, not a papaya. Let's think acorn squash or like a delica squash. You don't want to cut all the way. You don't want to be careful not to cut all the way through, because there's a beautiful hunk of flesh in the middle that contains the cacao seeds, which is where the chocolate comes from. And I want to try to keep that fleshy middle whole. So I'm just being very gentle, just cut a little bit through here. I didn't do a very good job keeping it even. But look at this. Are we ready? Dun, da, 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 dun, 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 dun. Kind of like anticlimactic, right? You're hoping you were thinking you were going to see chocolate, but this is it. So this is the shell. There's a bunch of different technical names for the ectoderm and all of that for the skin. This is actually edible. A lot of people don't know that. That's okay. Still, this is fine. I'm just going to talk a little bit about the shell first. This is actually edible. There are tons of different ways you can use it, kind of like squash. You definitely want to, it's like a triple cooked technique is best. You can find recipes for it online. I'm not going to show you any of those here today, but you can eat the shell. We're not going to deal with that today. What we're going to talk about is what's going on the inside here. So people know chocolate is, you know, somewhat healthy for us, right? It's debatable depending who you're talking to, but raw cacao in particular is really, really good for us. It's a high source of antioxidants and flavonoids. It's great for heart health, great source of iron, magnesium, right? Antioxidants, you know, some people say, and I don't want to quote it because I'm not a scientist, that there's more antioxidants in actual like cacao than in blueberries. And blueberries, as we know, are one of the biggest, beautiful, most beautiful superfoods. So much so that my daughter, who is 23 months almost, who doesn't eat vegetables, I just stuff her full of blueberries because I know that they're at least really, really good and she's going to get a lot of nutrition from them. Hey, Amy. Amy's watching from New York. Rolandas is what I love your beautiful energy too. Thank you for joining me. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about this. So here, you still don't see anything brown, right? It doesn't look like chocolate. So I'm going to get my hands in here. I'm going to show you what's going on here. So all of these little seeds, the cacao seeds, are encased in this white flesh. So this flesh has a bit of a citrusy flavor. You can eat it, but inside of each of these little casings of flesh are the cacao seeds. So I'm just going to run my knife through that, and you can start to see. I wonder if I can get it. There we go. See that? Should have brought a smaller knife. The opposite of Crocodile Dundee. That's not a knife. This is a knife. I need a smaller knife, but look at that. As you see, I start to peel that flesh off. We end up with the cacao bean. So you've probably seen, if you're a cacao fan, you've probably seen the cacao beans in the grocery store. They're often, when eating raw cacao, and there's a difference between cacao and cocoa, right? So cocoa is when these cacao beans have been fermented typically and roasted. Cacao, when we're talking about cacao rather than cocoa, they have been fermented and not roasted. They have been sun-dried, or at least they've been processed in a raw way. So they have not been high-heated. You can buy them as these bags of just the cacao seeds in themselves, and you can use those for various different ways in recipes. I want to just make note of another couple of things in here. There is this stringy bit down the midline of this bean, which is called the funicle. And then it attaches to a little bit of a housing at the base of this fruit that's called the placenta, which I think is quite cool. Thank you. So the cacao pod has a placenta, which I think is amazing. But anyways, let me see if this butter knife is going to work any better. You guys get the idea, right? So every one of these little seeds is encased in this citrusy fruit. I'm going to eat some. This one's actually quite sweet. Do you want to try some still? Come around. Come around. Sylvia doesn't want to be in front of the camera. But she's going to try it. You want to try some, Tatiana? Come on around. It's actually really, even the cacao pod is sweet. Typically, it's really, really bitter. Say hi, Tatiana. Hi. To all of our viewers. But this one is amazing. It's really, really sweet and really, really good. Isn't that delicious?
Yes, really good.
So a lot of people don't think you can eat the fruit, but it is used for different recipes. Sometimes you can see the flesh being used in ice creams and things like that. And now I understand it more because I've never had a fresh cacao pod that tasted quite this delicious. So anyway, that's all I want to talk to you guys really about cacao, all of this cool information. The mucilage, or the white flesh, the flesh that's in here is referred to as mucilage, which is a fun word, is said by some to have aphrodisiac properties. So I'm just going to take this mucilage home. Levi, I'm talking to you. Sorry, I'm not going to go any further than that. Hey, JG. Joaquin is watching from Spain. So good to see you here. Levi is watching. My partner is Levi is watching. So he says it's great for flavonoids. So theobromine, which is a flavonoid, a bitter alkaloid. So it's a bitter alkaloid that's present in raw cacao, has similar effects as caffeine. So it can now bring in energy and all of that. That's why eating a lot of chocolate or raw cacao before bed can cause insomnia-like symptoms, right? Because it's like energetic, it's energizing. So the beans themselves, like I said, you can buy them whole, but what you might be more familiar with are cacao nibs. So you might recognize these from the store. So these are just the beans that have been, these ones in this particular case are raw, so they were fermented and dried, and then just ground up into little bits. So you'll see these often in raw granolas. A lot of people sprinkle them on their smoothie bowls. I've used them in place of chocolate chips in certain recipes. So these are really, really beautiful. And we're going to use these in a recipe here today. So I'm going to get rocking on a raw cacao recipe. I'm going to get rocking on a raw cacao recipe. So main ingredient in this recipe is dates. So I got this big bottle of dates. It is actually inside of a pickle jar because I like to reuse my jars at home. And I'm going to put about 2 cups of dates into my food processor. So this is a super energizing, obviously not a keto recipe because, you know, dates are super high in sugar, but it's all natural. And I love dates. I really, really do. I got really into eating dates when I was pregnant because medjool dates in particular are said to help soften the cervix, which is good when you're preparing to give birth. Too much information? I think I've already shared enough about things today. So I got about 2 cups of dates in there. Then I'm going to add in about a 3/4 cup of raw cacao. So I've got that here. So this, by the way, all this is now is those cacao beans or cacao nibs ground up into a fine powder. So these often, the powder, it often has an even more intense flavor because you're going to be getting more bang for your buck when you're using this. But we're going to put in about 3/4 cup. So this is going to be a real chocolatey recipe at the end of the day. So about 3/4 cup of that. Amazing. Then I'm going to add in about 1/4 cup or so of cacao nibs. So this is going to give us a nice crunchy texture. Dumping that right into the food processor. Some coconut. So this is just some organic unsweetened coconut, as you can see. Cocoa, which is, oh no, it does say full coconut. This is how I label my jars, most of my jars in my kitchen at home. Put a bit in there. Oh, I forgot salt. We need salt. Can you grab some salt, Sil? Sylvia's going to grab me some sea salt. In the meantime, I have some maple syrup. Now, you might think this is entertaining. This is 2 tablespoons of maple syrup that I have in a breast milk storage container. Because this is what I had handy in the kitchen for some reason today to transport my maple syrup from my home kitchen to Rythmia. Hey, Natalie, so good to see you. Hey, Phil, I love you too, brother. My mom is saying mucilage. What glue used to be called? There you go. Little fact. Glue used to be referred to as mucilage. So I guess that's exactly what it is, right? This white flesh is the mucilage or the glue that holds all these seeds together and attached to the placenta inside the cacao pod. Huh, interesting. What a beautiful thing, the English language. Okay, so I'm going to pour that in, maple syrup. And the sea salt is on its way, but until it gets here, I'm just going to give this a little pulse. Here we go. Plug your ears. Grab my sea salt. Now, if you guys tuned in last week, you know when working with a food processor, you have to have a lot more patience than with a high-powered blender. So here we go. Pack your patience. Read the other comments. Say hello to all your fellow viewers. Maybe take a moment now to share this video with anyone that you think could use some inspiration in the kitchen. Oh my God, it smells so good. So things are really starting to incorporate. I'll show you where we're at right now. You can see the dates are really starting to break down. We still got lots of good chunks of the cacao nibs in there. Now I want to go a little bit further. I want to go to what really starts sticking together and to itself so that I know it's going to form well into bars because we're going to make this into energy bars. There we go. So I just need to make note that Krista just left her Texas Hold'em poker tournament early to watch this Facebook Live. Krista, you're amazing. I love having you here. Thank you, sister. Commitment to your nutrition and inspiration and love. Hi, hey, hey, hey. Returning guest to Rythmia always lightens up my day. So look at this. You can see that it's like kind of sticking all together here. If I were to, you know, take my knife in there, I can take it off. It's like super, super sticky. So this is the perfect texture. And it's so, so rich in flavor. What I've got here, this is just a little chafing tray that we use on the buffet. And I'm going to use it here today rather than a cake pan because I didn't have one. I forgot one at home. And I've just lined it with some parchment paper. And then I'm just going to dump all of this in here. And this is going to be a great little energy bar to have with a cup of tea. My daughter, I know, will love this. She'll have this with some, you know, fruit for breakfast tomorrow. And my partner will probably love it. This would actually also make a really great dessert because it is quite rich, right? And I'm just going to get in there with the best tool that I have, my hands. You can see it's all crumbly. And I'm just going to get in there and press it down. Now, you could also roll this into balls, and it would be really, really good. I actually brought some protein powder also that I was going to put in there that I forgot, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. But then you just press it in, as thick or as thin as you want it. And then all you're going to do is let it set in the refrigerator, slice it into cubes, and then you have this amazing snack. You see I've got it flattened out there. I'm not going to go too crazy. If you want to add a little bit more texture, you can sprinkle some coconut on top and just press the coconut in. So then you have, it looks like almost like snow confetti on top of the bar. But you guys get the picture. I'm not going to bore you with me sitting here pressing it down, trying to make it perfect all this time. So that is it, guys. Was it cacao wow? If it was, please let me know in the comments. Share it. And I can't wait to see you guys next week. Have a beautiful rest of your Sunday. Happy almost summer, right? We're right around the bend to summer solstice. 21st of June is what, next week? Not this week that we're coming into, but the week after. So that's pretty exciting. So I can't wait for all of you people up there in North America to be enjoying. Have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your day, guys. I love you, and I'll see you next week. Ciao for now.